Listen up, guys. It's not nothing about nobody else right now. It's about us. It's our change. It's our time. Do your part. Everybody play a part today. Last year was last year. This shit over. Make your own identity. Make something different.
Yeah, I'm about to step in the ring for the fight of my life. Hit my knees and I strap on my gloves. Boy, I've been...
Welcome, everyone, to this week's installment of the Coach Parker, Alvin Parker Coaches Show. I'm Sean Robertson. Great to have you with us on YouTube and also on VUAthletics.com. We're going to talk a lot about last week's game, the big win against St. Augustine College, and preview another road test as the Panthers open up divisional play against the Vikings of Elizabeth City State University. Joining us, as always, is the head coach of Virginia Union, Dr. Alvin Parker, coming off a big victory, back on the winning track. Felt good to get that victory last week on the road against St. Augustine.
It did. All victories feel good. So I think the guys did an excellent job, kind of, putting this thing on the road. Somebody asked me a few weeks ago, how I feel like playing on the road. I really don't think we have a choice now, for the first 5 on the road. Mm-hmm. And these guys have responded pretty daggone well. So
now, last week in the Players Lounge, Jada made an appearance, and you said slowly but surely we're going to get him back in the lineup. He did play, didn't play a lot. What did you think of his performance in his first game back?
He had some of those steps that he normally has. So, the few chances that he did get, so I was happy to see him. I think he'll get a few more this week.
But the big story, obviously, was Curtis, who was also in the lounge. Curtis Allen, a Prince George product. Another 150-yard-plus performance for him, named running back of the week. Last 2 games, nearly, I think, either close to or above 300 yards for him in the last 2 games. What has been working for him, and I guess the relationship between him and the offensive line play that has allowed him to have these back-to-back performances?
Our offensive line kind of just do what they do. They really don't know which back is back there, so to speak. So it's kind of the first 5 weeks we have, 3 guys be named, running back of the week, and I think we probably only had 1 offensive lineman of the week. Mm-hmm. I think it's impossible.
And that was the first week.
Yeah, it was the first week. I think it's impossible to have a back of the week and not have an offensive lineman of the week. So, just hats off to those guys up front, because those guys really make it go, But Curtis is special too, mm-hmm. And we have a special group back there. He's one of those guys that get it going for us.
What does that say about the makeup of not only the scheme that you provide, also Coach Diego, who works with the running back coaches, and also that offensive line working together with the running backs? I think every game this year, you've had at least one back rush for over 100 yards. Rashad almost had 200 in his performance down at Livingstone. This just seems like it's been a collective unit, everybody working together regardless of who gets the start this year.
I mean, all the way back from when I played, we kind of was known as, RBU. We always felt like we produced good running backs, So I think it's just part of the history, the legacy that, we kind of have here at Virginia Union, and those guys are kind of carrying it on. And we have a couple more guys that are just as good that people just hadn't seen yet. So, but a lot of that gets overshadowed when you have an All-American in the room. So, mm-hmm. But we're fortunate to have that type of talent.
The offense put up the numbers against St. Augustine. We would be remiss if we didn't talk about how well the defense has played, not only in that game, but throughout the course of the year. Ranked number 1 in the country in all of Division II college football in rushing yards allowed. Sometimes, what they say, offense wins games, defense wins championships. They've held up their end of the bargain in every sense of the word.
I firmly believe that. Like I said, you might sell a few more tickets with a high scoring offense, but you get in those tight games. Defense is what gets you over the hump, and those guys have been playing excellent. To hold somebody to negative yards. And I think it's probably was the second time this season that they've done
mm-hmm.
that. So. Mm-hmm. Those guys, and it's every group on defense. It's the guys up front on the defensive line, those guys on the second level at linebacker, and those guys on the back end. Everybody's playing well.
And they've seen different running backs, good running backs throughout the course of the year, and yet week in and week out, they have limited those guys. You mentioned twice holding a team below, in negative yardage. And we got to, give props to your DC that's been able to do his job very, very well as well.
Of course, me and Coach Porter, we're mm-hmm. great friends. So we go all the way back. We played together here at Union. He was my next door neighbor over in Store Hall. So we go all the way back, to those days. But he's a great coach, and our defensive staff is doing a great job of just coaching everybody up. So those guys go into the game and they feel prepared. That's the biggest thing. So I think our coaches deserve a lot of credit, but our players deserve credit too, because those guys are the ones that are going out there carrying out those game plans.
You mentioned it's always good to get a win, but especially coming off of the loss against Fayetteville at home and to go back on the road and take care of business to St. Augustine. How big was that for you guys going into divisional play coming up this week against Elizabeth City?
It was big. I think those guys, anytime it seemed like the week goes by so slow after you lose a game, so I think those guys are chopping at the bit. Everybody came back last Sunday, focused up, ready to go, so I seen how the week went last week, and I knew we were going to have some success, so I think those guys kind of came back this week with that same focus and wanted a little bit more. So, we expecting those guys to go out there and play well this weekend as well.
I know you touched on it a little bit as far as during your media availability this week about using your 2 quarterbacks a lot this year. In fact, you told us that you hadn't done that before.
Correct.
What made you decide to do it this year, and how has that worked throughout the course of the season, not only for you, but also the 2 guys that have been playing a lot, speaking of RJ and also Christian?
When we spoke last year, after the playoff run, we wanted to just, concentrate on building depth. And quarterback was one of those positions we wanted to do it at. We wanted to make sure we built depth in that room as well. So we felt like we did it across the board, and in building depth, you get a lot of good players. And when you get that many good players, a lot of different guys deserve an opportunity to play. So, and I never thought about it like this, but you look at any type of game, you'll see multiple receivers play, multiple running backs play, multiple guys on defense play, and it's almost like, why not a quarterback too? So it was kind of one of those type of thinking. But those guys, play so equally since they've been here, so I just wanted to make sure both of them get a chance. And when we get in, both of them guys produce. I think Christian had 1 or 2 touchdowns. I think one of them had 1, one of them had 2, so, but those guys are doing a bunch of stuff to help us move the offense.
And they're well on their way, getting another victory on Saturday against St. Augustine. Divisional play starts this week on the road at Elizabeth City. We'll talk more about that later on the Coach's Show. But coming up next, we got the Players Lounge. We got a full house in the Players Lounge. We're going to talk defense and special teams with 2 key parts on both sides of that equation when we come back on the Alvin Parker Coach's Show.
The styles you want, the brands you love, with the service you deserve. Better Menswear. From formal to casual wear, we carry quality men's clothing at sensible prices, where fashion and service meet affordability. That is Better Menswear.
Welcome back to the Alvin Parker Coach's Show. This is our Players Lounge segment. We got a full house here today as we're going to talk special teams and defense in this segment. We have Virginia Union starting punter Marvin Holmes, Verona product. He's wearing that navy blue of Verona in the house. We've got the reigning CIAA Special Team Player of the Year, Brady Myers, with us, and also Jakeith Hilliard. He plays defense. What position you play?
Defensive end.
Defensive end. He looked like a defensive end. And he's joining us as well here on the Players Lounge, here on the Alvin Parker Coach Show. Guys, welcome to the show.
Appreciate you.
Thank you guys for joining us. We're going to start with the defensive player first. Got to give him a shine.
Yes, sir.
Got that big win last week against St. Augustine. We talked about how you guys defensively playing extremely well throughout the course of the year. Number 1 against the run in the country in Division II. When you hear that stat for the defense, what goes through your mind?
I mean, it started with us reestablishing the line of scrimmage, and we play physical throughout the whole game. We dominated all aspects of the game. So, I'm saying when you do what you're supposed to, you get rewarded.
I'm assuming you guys, that was not a goal at the beginning of the season. You want to be a dominant defense, but maybe not, number 1 in the country, unless that was talked about.
We want to be number 1.
You want to, okay.
Yeah.
So this has not exceeded your expectation coming into this season on how good this group could be.
No, not yet.
Not yet. What ultimately do you want to do defensively, collectively this year?
So like I said, we just want to dominate on all aspects. Each and every week, we want to start by dominating, keep doing it.
Mm-hmm. And Marvin also helps you guys defensively with field position.
Replacement. we good every time. We got trust them.
There you go. Got trust with both of these
both
guys.
Both of them.
Marvin, sometimes your position, your play goes under the radar a little bit, but for what you do for the defense, how important is your job, especially this year, helping those guys out on defense?
I feel like it's definitely important because wherever I place the ball or how far back I kick the ball, I can help them with the defense. I can help them push back the opponent's offense and help them really succeed on defense.
mindset during the course of a game? Are you like amongst the guys? Are you like to yourself a little bit? Where are you during the course of the game?
I'd say like the first 2 downs, I'm like with the team, supporting the team. But when it comes to like 3rd down, I start to lock in, get my mental straight, so that when I go out there, it's just a straight shot. I know what I'm doing.
And the fact that you play close to home. You mentioned you played your high school ball at Verona, not too far from Virginia Union. How cool is that for you to be that close to home playing college football?
It feels good because I feel like everybody like that's around the area can come see me, and I can show out for my family and also the surrounding area.
Mm-hmm. Brady's got like the farthest distance come from Florida.
Other than Matias, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. What's been your season like for you?
It's been good. Maybe not the statistical like numbers I was hoping for, but you know the coaches and all of my teammates have my back, and you know they have full belief in me, and you know I'm ready to kind of kick things into action a little bit here.
Now I'm not gonna jinx this. I'm gonna knock on here. I did hear a stat that I think you've made like, let me think, 34, 35, was it 40, 46 straight PATs again, knocking on the table. Walk us through your process of getting ready for an extra point, and then now to know that, you know, you have a really long stretch of makes this year. Please don't say I caused the jinx if you miss one in the future, but just
you're good.
That's a pretty good streak,
you know,
for a kicker.
I try to stay relaxed. Extra point's only 20 yards. I'm supposed to make it. You know, it's definitely cool to get my name in the record books here, and yeah, of course I'm trying to extend the streak and help the team out. So it's definitely cool to, like I said, put my name in the record book. A lot of credit to my snapper and holder because, of course, I couldn't do it without them. And, you know, just ready to keep going.
How often do people come to you and still talk to you about that Bowie State kick in overtime?
Pretty often. I can't say I don't like it, but then again, it's a new season. Got to, you know, making some new plays this year. So hopefully I can make something else for people to talk about as well.
Well, hopefully those plays continue this coming weekend. You guys back on the road against Elizabeth City for divisional play. For all three of you, do you guys like playing on the road a lot? You know, given the fact that you are, 5 out of the first 6 or 6 out of 7, do you like the us against everybody else? Or, you know, would you like to have some more? Obviously, you would like to have some more games, but just the fact that when you get that victory, you can kind of shut some people up in the stands.
Shoot, me honestly, I like whenever we get to line it up. So we can be home, we can be away, as long as we're able to play. I'm happy.
True football player. Sound like a true football player. What about you, Marvin?
For me, I like walking into opponents' like house and just taking over pretty much. So it feels good for me because I love playing. I love playing at home, but at the same time I love playing away, just based off the atmosphere.
What about you, Brady?
I would say I prefer playing at home, but it's definitely nice to, you know, pack up the show and get a dub on the road.
The importance of Saturday. I'll go around the table, especially divisional play. Each game now, it seems like it's that more important.
Most definitely.
Before trying to get the ultimate goal, playing the conference championship game, getting a chance to win a conference title, and then moving on to the playoffs. Divisional play starts for you guys. The importance of Saturday against Elizabeth City.
We're taking it one game at a time. We got to win each and every week. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, start off just attacking this week. Know what we got to do. Go into East City and dominate.
East City. There you go. Brady?
Like Coach Parker mentioned in the meeting the other day, they're on the back half of the season, and we got to look at it as like a 5-game season. And like Jacques said, go in every week and do our job and come out with a win.
Marvin?
So we have 5 games left and getting into division play, and the schedule definitely going to get tough. But we have to lock in each week and just focus on what we have to do. Well,
guys, we appreciate the time. Thank you for joining us here on the Players Lounge, and good luck to you guys Saturday when you try to get that first divisional win against Elizabeth City.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
We got Jakeith, we got Brady, and Marvin joining us here on the Players Lounge on the Alvin Parker Coaches Show. We got one more segment. We got the coach coming back to talk about his old school, ECSU, going back down there to East City to take on the Vikings. That's next on the Alvin Parker Coaches Show.
Hello, Virginia Union Panthers. This is Jonathan Cotton with the Good Feet Store. And I'm proud to announce that the Good Feet Store is now an official partner of Virginia Union Athletics. We, of course, want all of you to come to Short Pump to the Good Feet Store so you can live the life you love without your feet getting in the way. But there's more to it than that. We believe that historically black colleges and universities have deserved more of a spotlight than you have historically had. The success on this field this year with Virginia Union football deserves more attention than it's received, as do the many accomplishments of men and women athletes over the years at Barco Stevens Hall. The greater Richmond community needs to realize what a treasure we have on Lombardi Street. The Good Feet store looks forward to continued success as we partner with Virginia Union University. Go Panthers!
Back here for our final segment of the Alvin Parker Coaches Show. Divisional play starts Saturday. The players talked about it in the Players Lounge, and Coach mentioned it during your meeting this week. A 5-game season starts Saturday on the road against Elizabeth City. The mindset now is to go 5-0. Exactly.
I think, and the kind of the mission doesn't change. I think at this point in the season last year we were 5-0. And this point in the season right now we're 4-1. But last year we still had to win those 5 games down the backstretch, and this year we still have to win the 5 games down the backstretch. So it really doesn't change the mission in terms of that. So and I think the guys, like I said, are focused up. And it starts with Elizabeth City. We started divisional play with them guys last year. And we were able to come out with a big victory. So hopefully we can put it together well enough that we can come out of this one with a W.
As long as you don't get that second loss on the back end, you good to go.
You want to make sure you kind of do the 5-game season.
Now we mentioned, this is, you back down to Elizabeth City. You're very familiar with East City. Always good memories when you go down there to Elizabeth City?
It's second home for me. I spent about 13 years of my life there. In that city, it's a small town where made a lot of friends and met a lot of people. I met my wife there. So it's a whole lot of good things that you get down there, all of the little places to eat, the little nicks and knacks. So small town vibe. But again, I've been on the other sideline for I think about 5 years. Going against those guys. So it's a different type of thing. But I spent quite a few years there, and we had some good times, some success while I was there. So I don't want them guys to have any success Saturday, but I wish them the best every other game.
It's a small community that loves their Vikings football.
Exactly.
You want to stop that Viking train on Saturday. What's the goal? How will you be able to achieve that goal to stop ECSU and get that first divisional win?
Like I've been telling everybody, you really can't go off the record with those guys. Those guys are 1-4 in the books, but every game has been close. Those guys have played some good football. They're a much improved team from last year. So we got to go in there with our A game. I think that's what we're going to have to do down the stretch with everybody. I think everybody's brought their A game to us. And we play some good football along the way, but I want to make sure that we play our best football down the stretch.
The thing is, in regards to bottling up what you did successfully against St. Augustine, and hopefully that transfers to ECSU, what were some strong positives that you hope can transfer to Elizabeth City this week?
I thought we just made plays on both sides of the ball, and we made a lot of plays on special teams. I think, you get into a game and you make the most plays, you're going to win. I want to make sure we protect the ball. And we did that for the most part on last Saturday. Make sure we just solid and everything else. We had 6 penalties, I believe, in the game this past weekend. 3 of them were called on one thing that was just tough. I think tough officiating. That we just didn't have clarification on. So hopefully we kind of get that straight this week. But I thought those guys played an exceptional game, a clean game in terms of not, so no turnovers, no penalties, forcing some turnovers, and doing different things like that is going to help us win this game.
Other big thing you did against them was jumped out to a fast start. You put the pressure on them and had to make them play from behind, as opposed to the last couple games prior to that, Livingstone and also Fayetteville. It was a slow start. I won't say it was a sluggish start. It was slow to get off to what you were able to accomplish. How big is that, especially on the road, against a team that has struggled coming up to this point?
Like I said, you got to be solid. You don't want to put yourself in a position where you have to play, some catch-up ball and different things like that. But like I said, I think we have a good, solid, disciplined group that they know what it is. They know what the expectation is. So we want to just go out there and play Panther football. And I know a lot of coaches might say that, and it might be cliche, but we had a style of football that I feel like we played that if we do it the way we want to do it, it's going to be hard for anybody to beat us.
I heard this in basketball, and I'm assuming you will echo this. It's a style that travels. No matter where you go, no matter what the conditions, your style of play is going to travel wherever you go.
Right. That's what we feel. We feel like, if offense can score and defense can hold and special teams can be special, you're going to win a lot of games. I think we're doing that. We're dominating the line of scrimmage. I think Jackie said that a little earlier on both sides of the ball. Offensive line and our defensive line are playing extremely well. And we got a lot of the guys at the skill position doing a lot of good things. And and the guys that got to put their foot on the ball, those guys are doing some good things as well.
Now, I'll knock on the table for you because we heard the stat is, 12 straight road games
yeah.
that you've won in a row?
Yeah, I found that out the other day too. So, that's a crazy one, but I think it's just a testament, to the entire, university, setting us up for success, from the leader on down. We want to be best in class, and being best in class sometimes, means you got to pick this show up and take it on the road and show the world. So we do a good job of doing that. So I think everybody get a chance to see, the style, of football that we play and what we have from Virginia Union. Some people might not always come over here to 1500 to see it. So we might have to take it on the road for everybody can see it. So I'm proud of the university in that aspect.
Well, the Panthers will take it on the road to Roebuck Stadium Saturday, a 1:00 kick against ECSU. Coach, we appreciate the time as always. Good luck to you Saturday against Elizabeth City, and we'll be back next week to talk about that game and then the big one against Bowie at Hovey a week from Saturday.
Gotcha.
All right. Thanks to Coach, and also thanks to the players for joining us this week on the Alvin Parker Coaches Show. Again, Roebuck Stadium, ECSU, 1:00 kick. We'll be back next week to talk about that game and the next home game against Bowie State here at Hovey Stadium. For the coach and for the players, I'm Sean Robertson. Thanks for joining us on the Alvin Parker Coaches Show.
Covered in blood, walking in love. This for the ones who've been stuck in the mud, searching for hope. Trust me, I know what it feel like to drown in my problems, but God came and threw me the rope. Can't wait to look in his eyes. All of my life I've been battling lies. I found the truth and took off my disguise. Come from my head, I still live for the prize. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I was in the city going down, trying to blow. Everything changed when I learned to let it go.